Zack, this one's for you, buddy. Woo! So a friend of mine said, hey Matt, I've seen everything else on your farm you talked about, but not that little cart that you drive around. Well, let's talk about it. This is actually the second cart that we've had here on the farm. The first one was a much more powerful electric cart that got destroyed by a young guy coming out deer hunting, and he kind of put it in a big hole, and that's a story for another day. But anyway, this one is kind of the replacement slash backup that's now become the primary for us, and it's nothing really special. It's just a plain old easy go cart that's been lifted up a little bit. It's got some groovy little wheels on it, and for our farm purposes, this thing does wonderfully well. It is battery powered and gets us back and forth. We use it out in the woods, and yeah, so we'll talk about a couple of little things with it that I like, and a couple of things that I don't. So as you can see, one of the things we use this for, Zack, is moving our feed bags back and forth. Got some corn this morning for the cows. Got some things to head down to the cabin with. We're going to roll right up the driveway over here and get the cows some corn. And the little cart does a really good job of hauling all this stuff back and forth. The only thing I'll point out, I guess I'll show you here in a minute. This right here, this part lifts up and it becomes a little seat in the back. This portion itself, you can't put weight on. You have to make sure the weight is put in the back over here. Don't put it on this or it'll crack and splinter out. So that's one thing. Second thing is when I do show you flipping this seat up, remind me to tell you about the water. Okay, so operation of our little cart is pretty simple and easy. You just turn the little key. The little gauge there will give you an idea of how much charge you have. Now I have found out that this doesn't, it's not like a gas gauge where, you know, you can look at the full and go, oh yeah, I've got, you know, X number of miles and I'm good to go. This is a measure of the charge that's available right this second. The more you drive this, it tends to go down faster in different areas. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but when you start it, when you first turn the key and it shows full, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of these batteries down here are actually charged fully. It just means that at that particular moment you have full access to all the charge. Once you start going, I mean, I can leave the house and make one turn and start going up the driveway, and it'll immediately drop down to half. Just part of the deal. It's one of the things I don't like about electric vehicles is I never really know how much charge I have. Now that said, this little cart will go all over our farm with no problems. I have no problems charging it up, so save the comments. I'm just saying that it's a weird thing to get used to with electric vehicles. And of course it's got a little, you know, headlight thing here, you know, boom shakalaka. And there you go. So operation's pretty easy. Now, on that operation, there is one thing that drives me nuts about this. And if you know how to turn this off, please comment and let me know, because I don't know how to turn this off. But whenever you put it into reverse, listen to this. That noise drives me absolutely batty. If there is a way to turn that off, somebody please let me know. All right, this is super dirty, but this is the battery pack that runs ours. We've got 4 batteries that are tied together, and you know, nothing gigantic, nothing fancy. I'll show you the charger for it in just a minute. The only thing I wanted to bring up, just so you know, Zach, since this video is for you, buddy, each of these deep cell batteries have little cells in them, and you have to keep that filled with water. So every once in a while, you have to run up to Publix, grab you a couple of gallons of distilled water, and fill up every single one of these little things, and make sure that the caps are on good, because otherwise, if they run out or run low on water, your charge time just turns to crap. One more quick thing. Let's come over here and show you how it gets charged up. Now, charging this is super simple and easy. This comes with the, or came with ours when we bought it, a little charger that you plug into a standard regular outlet, and it comes out to this this connection on this side. There's only one way to plug it in. It plugs in right here. All you got to do is just shove it in, and it'll start charging. Now, this seems like it's okay out in the weather. I've left it out a couple of times with it raining and didn't realize that it was going to rain, and nothing exploded. But usually we try to do our charging during times where there's no weather, and if there's any hint of weather, I'll usually cover it up with something so that there's no water on it. It does get a little warm while it's charging, and the batteries will get a little warm while it's charging, but usually we'll come down and just put it on overnight. It doesn't take that long to charge it, but we just leave it on overnight to get a full charge. So there we go. Now, Zach, we use this platform, as I showed you before, for hauling things back and forth and moving all sorts of stuff on the farm with no problem whatsoever. The old Stinger 48 does really well with this, but as you've seen from our property, it's not all flat. There's lots of hills and valleys. So to keep things on the back, what we did was tied a little piece of strap on it right here with a little hook. This allows us to hook in over here in this little hole, and then we can use this to secure our cargo. So anyway, there you go. All right, continuing our walk around of the little cart that we used, I had mentioned about this flip up here. It actually says do not sit or stand or load things, but yeah, this folds up so that you have a seat that you can ride around on, which is really cool when you have people visiting and all like that. But let me give you one little tip there, Zach, just so you know. If this has been out in the weather for a while, especially if it's been flipped down, once you flip it up, if somebody sits up there on it, if it's been flipped in the down position for a long while and it's been raining, that cushion will absorb water. So when they sit on it, it kind of balloons it kind of pushes it out, and the water will come out on either side of it. So when folks get in it, you just need to let them know, you know, hey, stay away from the right on the edges, so that you don't get water on you. But yeah, that's the flip up side, or the flip up seat on the back. Okay, from the files of things that I don't like about our little golf cart, I don't think it's just this particular brand, it's just something that annoys me. But they have these little flip down windshields, you know. Obviously, if it's better weather, you put this down, and if it's raining, you put it up. Either way, it gets coated with dirt and grime and all kind of stuff. So what I wind up doing is driving 90% of the time with it down like that, which means when it rains, I get wet. Speaking of it raining, again, not knocking this particular brand, I'm saying probably all of them do this, but the little roof cover that you've got up there, it tends to collect water when it rains really hard, and usually on the somewhere, I don't know if it'll show through, but they have little drain holes in the corners so that the water can drain out and not, you know, fill up and crush the roof. The issue with that is if the drain holes happen to be in the front like they are in this one, when you come down a hill like my driveway, all of the water that's in this roof goes right here, drains out this little hole, and splashes whoever's sitting right there, which would be me. Here's one more little tiny nitnoid issue. Again, Zach, you asked for it, that I wanted to talk about, and maybe it's just all electric carts and not just this particular manufacturer. I'm not knocking this one at all, okay? It's just something I noticed that drives me nuts. When you put this from off into forward, did you hear that little clunk? That's like the little drive engaging in the back so that the axle can then turn the wheels. When you press the gas pedal down here, not the gas pedal, the accelerator. It's not gas, stupid, it's an electric vehicle. When you press this, you hear that little click? That means that it's actually engaged and ready to go. Now, sometimes when you put it into forward, that first click where it engages, it doesn't seem like it engages all the way, and you can press your foot on the accelerator all you want, and you're not going to go anywhere. So when that happens, I have to turn it off and then turn it back on again. There's the click or the clunk, and I'm ready to go. So just one of the nitnoid little things about it. Not a big deal, just something to keep in mind. Oh, Zach, here's another example of some of the things that we use this for. I have this kayak here that we had down by the pond, and we have a Easter celebration coming up, and it's way too heavy for me to just pick up and move. So why not just tie it to the back of the old easy cart and head it down to the barn? Works like a charm. Are you happy, cows, now? Moo.